This is Between the Geeks. I'm Trevor.
Yeah.
Hello.
And I'm Sean.
Hey, Trevor. Hey, Trevor.
Ogre, you had started talking about
I'm
something at the end of the last episode.
in the digital. Which one? The let's say
This
the
episode
the
we just
Lego
recorded
movies and
here.
stuff. Because
Did you have
I love
anything
the.
more to
Oh yeah.
say?
Oh yeah. The well, one of the pieces that always made Legos like the idea of Legos, in my opinion, was the parody aspect of it. I love the idea of uh just like, how can I put this? When we watch something like a Lego movie or something like that, it's more acceptable because when you see Batman punch, someone from a completely different genre in the face because it's Batman, it's more acceptable. It's just, I don't know. I've always enjoyed the Lego movies just because they're so, you know,
Well,
they're
and
just
I mean,
absurd.
along with that, like all of the Lego video games lean heavily into that uh, tongue-in-cheek, very silly parody uh, type retelling of whatever thing they're doing.
Yeah, I think because it's a kid's toy, and I think we all have very early memories of maybe that little thing where, you're just playing along with it, and you're just kind of like taking things apart and just exploring. It's this very sweet kind of like wholesome feeling, and I think it's a little less, I guess, bargy than when you're playing Magic and all of a sudden you're supposed to have all these universes cross into each other. It feels a lot more natural to have, like you said, the parody aspect, a little bit of play between things. It feels better with Lego. It feels less offensive, I guess is a way of saying it with Lego.
You you also touched on another aspect of Lego that I absolutely love. It's that kind of raw creativeness you can just build from. You can take all the blocks, smash whatever you're making on the ground, and just build something completely different. Just use your imagination, be creative, imagine new stories, imagine everything because it's 8-bit, or I forget the wonderful word Sean used earlier.
Voxel.
Voxel.
It's
Yeah.
it's 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 voxel creation in the physical realm, which is like outstanding. It's just creativity at its purest.
Yeah, you guys in the last episode mentioned wrestling. You were surprised that they had been at the Boys and Girls Club. I have stories of my grandmother sitting ringside at that very place, hitting. There was an old wrestler by the name of Haystacks Calhoun in the 60s and 70s. There's footage somewhere of my grandmother when everyone thought it was real, whacking him right in the back of the head with a sandal at the Boys and Girls Club in Pittsfield. A lot of people have cool memories there. I think, to me, right now, I don't know if it gives you guys any perspective about how WWE is now owned by TKO, the same company that owns UFC. It used to be the cheapest seats in the arena were about $20 to $30, depending on where you were. When I was a kid, it was the Pepsi Arena. I think now it's, I forget the name of it, but your average arena for wrestling. Those tickets now have ballooned to $120 for top of the arena back against the wall. So anything I can go to in a little garage in a school, those are starting to be really popular. A lot of the wrestlers that I just interviewed at New York Comic Con have moved to the indies for that very reason. They're actually making more money going to smaller and smaller venues. It doesn't matter if there's only 100 people here, 100 people there, because there's networks. IndependentWrestling.tv can broadcast from the smallest place in the world and make it look like it's the most professional event ever. I think that's fantastic. A few episodes ago, we talked about Secret Lair.
Yeah.
Everyone expressed their love for it and how they love all of these crossovers. So I wanted to, if we can, Sean, I don't know if you want to grab that Secret Lair right there. If you want to pop that open.
This is the secret lair of The Office.
Oh snap! There was a spoiler.
Are we
earlier, I
doing
guess.
a live? Well, no, because secret lairs aren't randomized.
Yeah. Well, so there's one secret card
Yes.
in
so,
each of them.
So secret lairs have a bonus card that they put in, but they're not like booster packs where they're randomized.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
you know what you're getting.
Oh, okay. You know what you're getting. Oh, good.
And then that bonus card is the same in every secret lair. So it's
But you don't
they
know
do
what
a
it
little
is
cheeky
before you
thing where
open
like
it.
they put an extra card in, they don't tell you what it is. So like the Street Fighter one had a Hadoken card, which was a reprint of Lightning Bolt. But they didn't put that in the list of official cards that they did. That was just like an extra one.
The Office has a Ricky Gervaisi card in it.
So
There
I
we
think
go.
these are all Dwight.
yeah, so this actually is the
Oh, they're all
Dwight's
Dwight.
Destiny, Dwight's Destiny traditional foil edition set. We get a little quote on the inside when we open it here. I am not a hero. I am a mere defender of the Office. And let's see what we get on the inside here. Your little thank you for being a part of Secret Lair in the Office font. That's pretty cool. Let's see the cards. Oh, I don't want to open these. All right, let's see.
So I will say they used to put them in little boxes that you would get like a protective box.
Yeah,
that it came in.
there's not much in the way of anything now.
Yeah.
It's just the regular plastic wrap. I'm trying not to smudge anything here. The foil does look pretty cool though on these. So we have Dwight Schrute, Hey King. I don't know if anyone can see this. I could get right up to the camera with it, I suppose. I don't want to wreck anything here.
Boom.
Like that.
Watch out. Oh, no.
Let's knock a microphone down. Okay. Yeah, so let me just open these
okay,
up here.
yeah.
I don't know, Sean, you want to look at that?
Here, I'll take a look. So this is a reprint of Heliod Sun Crowned from the Theros set. That's pretty decent.
So Dwight's weapon
Now, are
stash is our next card.
Now, are these cards just reskinned existing Magic
Yes.
cards, or are
Yeah.
they all?
Yeah,
they
so
are?
typically
Okay,
for Secret
okay.
Lairs, they will do. There's only been a couple where they did like actually new cards. It was very controversial. So typically, what they do is they are like reskins of existing cards. So Dwight's weapon stash is Steel Shaper's Gift, which is a tutor for an equipment card.
So we have Swords to Plowshares. Exile target creature. Controller gains life equal to its power. Probably very familiar text for anyone who's played.
Yeah, so that one isn't even a reskin. It's just alternate art.
Let's see. So we have our two-sided card. Of course, if you're familiar with The Office, you know about Recyclops. So we have Recyclops Eco-Friendly on one side. And that's going to transform into Recyclops Nature's Vengeance. Of course, if you know the story of Recyclops, he eventually goes from the face to the heel, or the good guy to the bad guy.
And this is Garrick Relentless and Garrick Accursed. He's a Golgari commander, or a Golgari planeswalker.
Wow, we got a 6/6. It's Reaper King, but Dwight O'Lantern. So that's fantastic. Legendary artifact creature. Other scarecrow creatures you control get +1/+1 whenever another scarecrow you control enters. Destroy target permanent. I really like the flavor text. This year I decided to really get into the spirit of Halloween. It may have been the costliest decision I've ever made.
So one thing to note is Secret Lairs are pretty much the only place we get flavor text nowadays. Flavor text has become increasingly rare on Magic cards, which is sad because even what should be uncomplicated cards now have like a paragraph worth of abilities and keywords and things on them. So it's really nice to see cards that go back to having flavor text on them.
It used to be a standard in at least the house rules when we played Magic. Reading flavor text was a must, especially for certain cards. A lot of people would hear the flavor text of a card and get upset before the card was laid to the table. Let's see. We have Dwight, Assistant to the King. I was always a blue person myself. So that was from, is it Baral, Chief of Compliance? Is that what the original card was?
Yes, Baral, Chief of Compliance. That's a dirty card.
Oh, okay. I like that. So it's Council's Judgment, which I think is just another reskin card,
Yes.
right? And of course, we have the Party Planning Committee from The Office. So that's the only non-Dwight card. But that's your Party Planning Committee. I think that's fantastic. Thank you guys for bearing with me and opening this on Between the Geeks.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think that's
Sean
pretty cool.
mentioned something earlier about original cards being, shunned to a certain extent. What was going on there? Were people just angry that there was a new card or new?
They
things,
were
or-
angry because these unique cards featured. It was either The Walking Dead or Stranger Things. It might have been The Walking Dead. So there weren't any in-universe versions of those cards.
Okay.
And so you had these unique cards that had some decent effects on them that had no in-universe equivalent to them. Whichever one didn't come first, they then did it again. I think it was they did Walking Dead first, and then they did Stranger Things. It was Stranger Things because everybody was already upset over Walking Dead. They said, well, wait, we pledge that at some point we're going to make in-universe versions of these cards, which they did. Ironically, with Stranger Things, like nobody cares because they're not good. But it was for a long time. If you wanted to make a human deck, it was you had to have Rick Grimes be your commander, and people were just like, I don't like no. And it's not even, and like it wasn't art done like this. It was like very close to like a photographic like style from the show. So it just like the art was very different than what Magic typically does, and things like that. It's they're kind of doing a similar thing with like the bonus card sheets for Avatar, where they seemingly took stills from episodes where the bonus sheets are supposed to be like where you go all out with your art budget. And so like they took stills that are a little better than screenshots from a show from 2000, 2002.
Right around there.
So we're talking like 480p. And then, blowing them up. They don't look good. And they're kind of embarrassing. Like there's a card where, and these are, there's no border, right? So they're like these secret lair cards where it's full art. But this one, unlike the secret lairs, they also removed all of the graphic design from the cards. So there's no text boxes, there's no anything like that. It's just like the text and whatever icons. And so one of the cards is a close up of Ozai's face. And he's like making a smirk. So like the whole card is just this flat, like beige color with just his face on it. And it's like that. Nobody wants this card.
Wow.
I think it's Spider-Man that had a lot of cards that were like that too. Like a lot of cards that would be, it's a fully white card, but the animation on the card itself is very red and black. And it's just very counterintuitive to the mind. Also, I think when you're building your decks or anything like that, and you have, let's say you're an old counterspell player, everything is blue, 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 blue.
Well, I will say Spider-Man did a cool thing of having a lot of like comics frames and layouts on the card.
Yeah,
so that was a nice touch for doing that.
A lot of them actually felt like the old Spider-Man Marvel collector's cards from the 90s.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a lot of those.
Yeah, I'm always curious about the line people draw between like originality versus reiterating something over and over again. It's always curious to see where a fandom draws that line. Like,
I think
having original, Magic cards that aren't accessible elsewhere versus, say, just reskinning or reimagining different ones is a curious line. So yeah,
and I think it's probably a different line for collectors and then a different line for I'm not even a Magic collector, I'm a 90s nostalgia everything collector. They probably don't care so much about is it borderless, does it have flavor text, what does it look like. And I think unfortunately that's more what they're marketing most of these sets for. I know a lot of people that have told me about collecting like the God of War sets and stuff like that. They've never opened a Magic, pack in their life. Never sat down and actually watched a game.
Final Fantasy was huge.
Yeah.
It was one of the biggest sets that Magic has done. And
I wonder how many. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just wondering out loud. I was wondering if this was a play by Magic the Gathering or Wizards to get people to like look at Magic cards in different fandoms and stuff. So someone like, oh, I have this franchise that you love. Take a look at these Final Fantasy cards. You should play the game. Did it feel like that at all in there? Because I'm a little separated from the marketing of it.
There's a little bit of that. I think it's absolutely 100% geared towards collectors.
Yeah.
More collectors than players. Especially like standard right now is in a rough spot. Like they tried to make changes to standard. So like usually, I mean, the dominant format right now is Commander, which is considered more casual friendly. And a lot of the newer sets that come out nowadays will come out with a bunch of pre-constructed Commander decks that are fairly well tuned. So like you could that is proving to be an on-ramp for Magic, much better than doing like an in-universe pre-constructed deck for standard.
Well, I know with Avatar specifically, I've seen the new one that's coming out. There's a lot of push for here's a learn-to-play Magic deck, but it's more based on just the simple mechanics that they want to push in the Avatar series, whatever those might be.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of players who do it probably won't jump into the actual game of Magic.
Oh,
but
yeah, no.
But I think that a few people will at least dip in and say, oh, well, this has got to be worth something. Let me see what this leads to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, does anybody else have anything they want to touch on before we move on and start recording another episode?
I just want to touch on schedule really quick, just to explain what it is. Because I know we talked about like intuitiveness of controls and mechanics and everything. So it's part of the Vampire Survivors genre. So the only controls that you have are your 4 movement keys. You don't use any other buttons. Like all of your attacks are automatic. But the trick aside from the no instruction is the arena it's played on is a Path of Exile skill forest. So instead of leveling up and getting something, when you level up, it just means you can unlock a node in this skill forest, and all of the nodes give you different abilities, which again are only represented by the icons present in the node itself. So you have to kind of piece together what it is. But it's if Vampire Survivors had a baby with Path of Exile, and that's how you did your character building. So yeah.
That's great. It's great. That particular segment reminded me of the Stanley Parable and Antechamber. If you'd ever played those, it's just like Stanley Parable. You literally get in there and it will just narrate what you're doing and not tell you what to do. There in Antechamber, you're literally wandering around an endless labyrinth trying to figure out, and it's re-looping you around and stuff. And there is no instruction on either of those, but that's the point. There in the system. What was the name of the game you mentioned just now? I need to write it down.
Skigill. So Skigill. Because I
I'm gonna
assume
check
they're
it
going
out.
with the standard pronunciation of sigil and not the weird Planescape pronunciation of the city. And honestly, that's also probably the closest thing I can think of for the hidden gems, because like it got a rating of like 7 out of 10 for reviews. The no instructional thing is controversial because there's like mechanics where people are trying to piece it together. Some of the iconography is a little off. Like regen it's a symbol of like bandages that form a heart, but it's instead of being like this, where the point of the heart is pointed down, it's like rotated so that it forms like an L shape.
Okay.
So people are looking and they're like,
interesting.
I thought it was gravestones, and I'm like, oh, this must be like revives or something because you only get one at a time. And people have thought it like an apartment building or whatever, not realizing that it's health regen, and so that was a little off.
So bad design. Yeah.
Something very simple can mess a lot of things up like that.
Yeah, especially like they could have just made it a pink heart, and like that would have been much better.
Standard.
But this is, and I'm just going to throw it out there because
And it's
came to
also,
mind
like,
here.
$3.
Go ahead. Yeah. This is why AI is never going to replace it, because you still have to make a decision on good design, and AI can't make that decision
Yes.
on good design. It can only be directed to do what you want. So good design, we're going to have gravestone hearts the rest of our lives if AI takes over design. It's going to be terrible.
Agreed.
Yeah. But yeah, I kept thinking for the hidden gems, I just kept thinking of like all these great indie games that I found for like under $10. But they turn out to be super popular. So like that's not really what the intent of your question was. I'm like, I don't think anybody considers Stardew Valley a hidden gem.
It might be. It might be.
It's like one of the biggest indie games of all time. It sold like 20 million
I think
copies.
No, I still haven't played it, but I hear good things. And was your intention going into Stardew Valley like this is going to be boring
No.
when you first started it? No. Okay.
No, it was, Harvest Moon but better? Sure, sign me up.
I've heard it's a lot of people's unwind game.
Yes.
Let's get home and let's just
Yeah.
unwind.
Chill. Yeah.
It's like that, Vampire Survivors again. Like I saw that on a stream, and that was my introduction to it. And I was like, I gotta play this game.
That sounds like it would be entertaining.
$5,
Worth the money.
and comes with like a bunch of DLC, and then the other DLC packs, which basically like are games in and of themselves, are like $3 to $5.
That's awesome.
They've also done a bunch of crossover, tie it back into crossovers. So they've got a Contra, Castlevania, Saga, like the Square Enix series. They just did a Balatro DLC. So yeah. So
Well, we'll definitely have to revisit that in some conversation. I think we've had a lot of good talk here.
big meaty between the geeks.
That's okay.
Juicy,
you want a lot of meat in the
juicy
sandwich.
between the geeks. Got it.
Ogre, Sean, good to talk to you guys. Geeks, thanks for watching.